In this video, I'm going to give an overview of DEXI-OS version 0.10, and then we'll walk through some of the new capabilities. The first thing that I'd like to mention is in our GitHub repo, you'll find a v0.10 release page with release notes. I'll cover these very quickly. One of the main things that we've done with this release is moved from Ubuntu 22 to Raspberry Pi OS. There are many reasons for this. If you have any questions about it, feel free to jump in Discord. I'll share all the trials and tribulations of the migration, but I believe it's the right path forward. And then we have support for both the CM4 module, which runs on the DEXI-5 and the Arc Pi 6X flow, and then the Pi 5 version, which comes with our compute kit. We have a nice new hat that allows for new capabilities, and DEXI-OS now allows you to run that on both and use the same tools and programming environments for both platforms. We have better Docker support. As you're probably aware, we have the dashboard with some new capabilities that I'll showcase. We have Node-RED, and then we also have the VS Code server. And then from a hardware perspective, with our new compute kit and the Raspberry Pi hat, we have some designated chips for both servo control and GPIO. In addition to that, in the future, we'll have the ability to plug in a accelerator, an AI accelerator, such as the Halo module, that will allow us to do computer vision and accelerate that inference with the module. So from a software perspective, we have April tag, of course, and then April tag support, I should say, and then we also have YOLO detection. I'll give a couple demos of that with our example Node-RED flows, and then there's some just additional re-architecture, starting with our DEXI bring up repo. This is all built in, pre-compiled, ready to go, but the bring up is sort of like the mother node, if you will, for all the ROS packages. So we have a bunch that you can see here. But with that being said, let's just jump into the first boot, and I'll demonstrate this with my DEXI-5. And the first thing that we'll do after boot is we want to make sure that we have the right version of PX4, which in this release will be 1.15.4. And let's go ahead and get started. Just to quickly go through the steps, I've pulled out my micro SD card. Now keep in mind you want to pull out your Pi SD card, not your Pixoc SD card. Put it into my computer. I've downloaded the DEXI-5 image. I will flash with Etcher or Raspberry Pi OS, whatever you prefer. Once the flash is done, you'll put your micro SD back into DEXI and then power up. Power up. What you will find with this new release is that boot times are significantly faster. I've connected to my DEXI network. We'll just pull up the dashboard quickly. We'll make sure you can see here I have my camera view, shows my acro flight mode. That will be whatever flight mode you're in. Now, the next thing we want to do is make sure to update PX4. You might be on the recommended version, but I'll go ahead and give a demonstration. This is PX4 1.15.4. Now we can launch into Code Server, access the terminal directly through our browser, or you can also SSH in. So I'll just demonstrate the SSH version 192.168.4.1, user DEXI, and then password DEXI. So here you can see this loading. Now keep in mind with this release, we have April tags running, we have YOLO running, there's Node-RED. There's a lot going on for a small compute module like the CM4. So I just caution you to pay attention to that. Don't forget that these are limited resources. It's not like running on your desktop. So I'll just do a demonstration of HTOP here. You can see our load is really high now. The main reason here is the code server booting up for the first time generally takes a lot of resources. That's just because there's a lot going on. You can let that calm down or not even approach it this way by just accessing the SSH or the terminal directly. But that being said, I'm going to demonstrate here. We're going to look in our directory. You're going to see an ARC Pi6X default v1.15.4. I'm going to go into ARC companion scripts, Pi scripts folder, and then we're going to do a sudo flash. This is a command line program to update PX4, and we're going to do that with the version right here, the ARC Pi6X default v.1.15.4. I'll go ahead and hit enter. You'll see the erase happen. We'll see the new firmware being loaded. This generally takes anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And then your Pixhawk will reboot. You'll hear the ESC tones, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. We'll do a quick validation of the install. I'll normally go to DEXI GCS. Now my DEXI is on my bench with the camera mounted facing down, and I'll go ahead and just test LED. You can see through the GUI we can change LED colors, and if we have servos connected, whether it's to the DEXI-5 or the Compute Kit, we'll be able to control those. I can set position mode. You can see here I'll actually arm. And then we also have the ability, you'll see here in some cases, depending on how you mount your camera, you'll be able to rotate the camera view if you'd like to do that. And then we also have just a local reference map. This is in relation to when PX4 boots up, and if I move it around, it will update. We plan on doing some future work on this map with a click around to navigate. Then let me go back to our dashboard. One of my favorite tools is the ROS debug. You can see here we have all the ROS2 topics. Let's just, for example, take a look at the vehicle status message. This is one of the PX4 messages. You can see there's all sorts of attributes and values, and through our ROS programming, whether that's Python or Node-RED, we have the ability to get information about the vehicle. We also have a services tab and so on. So I'll go back to the dashboard. Okay, let's take a look at our Node-RED demo flows, and I'm going to enable the LED demo, deploy. You can see here I'm in position mode with the green LED. We'll just do a quick check. We have pink, teal, LED off. I'll go ahead and use my flight mode switch. Get back into position mode so we have the LED green. I'm going to disable the LED demo. I'm going to enable the April tag demo. You'll see here that April tag detections is the topic we're subscribing to, that this is enabled by default, and there's not currently an April tag being detected. I will go ahead and pull up some April tags on my phone. The best detection will happen with printed ones, but this is just an example. So I have April tag 1 here, and if we look at our flow, should turn the LED red. So I'll just put this here, lift up. Okay, now we're red. Let me just go to April tag number 2, blue, and then number 3, yellow. So our April tag detection flow is working. I encourage you guys to look at the logic there. I'll switch back to position mode. Let's take a look at the YOLO demo. I'm going to disable the April tag flow, enable the YOLO demo. And you'll notice here we have a YOLO detections topic, similar to what we did with the April tag. We get the detection, we pull the class name out of here, and that's what actually has the object detected. You can see here I have dog, cat, or truck. And then I have these not so great printed images of a cat and a dog. So I'm just going to demonstrate with those on the bench. So let's go ahead and put the cat out, and then I will go ahead and this would be more exciting. So you can see there, now we're blue. I was going to say this would be more exciting if DEXI were actually flying, but it's the best I can do for now, having it on the bench. So we'll just kind of navigate like we're going over. And we have dog detection. So let's do it one more time. We'll go cat, blue, and then our dog. So that's an overview of YOLO detection. Be sure to take a look at this flow, see how this is set up. Now, once again, with everything that we have going on with the CM4, it is very compute intensive, so I encourage you to pay attention to that so you don't overload and things will ultimately slow down. We'll run one last test with real animals. I'll find my pets and we'll do the detections. If you're not familiar with YOLO, we'll go into this in more detail in some upcoming content, but it's trained on the COCO dataset, which has 100 different objects. And of course, dog, cat, and truck are 3 of these objects. So you'll see here, if it's a dog or a cat, for dog, we'll have a red LED. And then for cat, we'll have a blue LED. So I'm going to grab my DEXI and go give this a try. My camera is currently mounted to the bottom of DEXI, hence why I have to tilt up. So scooter dog detection success. And then piggy cat detection success. I'll go ahead and wrap up this lengthy video. I hope you enjoyed DEXI-OS version 0.10. We have a lot on the roadmap. We're really excited about the DEXI platform. Hope you guys are too. And until next time, thanks for watching.